Counties where the latest case of cattle rustling has sparked fresh clashes. One person has died in the violence while 26 people are nursing serious injuries, while scores have been left homeless after several houses were torched. Now, reporter Elphas Lagat joins us and is on the ground to give us the latest developments. So, Elphas, what kind of injuries are we talking about? Why the houses torching? What message are the attackers trying to convey?
Well, good afternoon, Jesse. As you are rightly mentioning, 26 people injured and nursing injuries in Olengurwani Hospital where they've been taken. Of course, the last 18 or so hours, to say they were bad would be an understatement. They have been critical, they have been dire, fresh insecurity, fresh tension rising in the area of Olengurwani and also Timoru, where, of course, you remember that what has sparked this is the recent cattle rustling in which over 200 cattle have been rustled between the communities here. Of course, right now, just as we are speaking, two county commissioners of Narok, Joshua Natembea, and his counterpart of Nakuru, Joshua Canada, have just held a meeting with a section of Maasai community, trying to just have a conversation with them, telling them to stand down in this escalating tension in all Timoru. Of course, Jesse, what we've seen so far has been really heart-wrenching, to say the least. Many young people, all of them armed to the teeth. And of course, if asked what are the cause of this, you'd ask is the issue of cattle rustling. And of course, the two communities that are both armed with bows and arrows, and just trying to resolve the issue of cattle rustling that has been an issue for these two communities for years. Of course, we had a conversation with officials here led by Judge Natembea, Narok County Commissioner, saying that cattle rustling often is a trigger. But of course, the underlying issue is that of land, which has been an emotive subject between the two communities that live on the border of Nakuru and Narok, Timoru and Olengurwani as well. So as we speak at the moment, the officials, Judge Natembea and his counterpart of Nakuru, Joshua Canada, would be heading to meet the Kalenjin community. They've just finished peace talk with the Maasai community at Timoru, where I'm speaking from at this point in time. And of course, we will be following up on that to see what is the message that they'll be giving to the other community. They've promised Maasai community that the herds of cattle that were rustled, the missing cattle will be recovered. The government has deployed enough officers. And as I'm speaking to you, actually, there is a huge number of security officials who have been deployed here. They are armed, just trying to quell the rising tension, the rising insecurity between these two communities that to this point have claimed the life of one person as per the official report, and 26 injured who are currently nursing injuries at Olengurwani. Yes.
Well, Elphas Lagat, thank you for informing us. Of course, he's definitely following up on that story. But before we let you go, have any arrests been made so far in regards to this clashes that have been pitted between these two warring communities?
Just to this point, we've had a conversation with Narok County Commissioner, Judge Natembea, as well as his Nakuru counterpart, and we also have Police Commandant in charge of Nakuru, Hassan Barua. To this point, they have not arrested any individual in the latest and fresh attacks that we've witnessed in almost tomorrow. But what you remember perhaps is that a similar pattern of attacks that were witnessed in Lesotho had the Deputy Speaker of Nakuru, Samuel Tanui, and 5 other leaders arraigned before court. They were released on bond. You remember that they were released on bond on 20th. But now, for these latest attacks that occurred yesterday, and these houses down, to this point, there are no arrests that have been made. Only casualties that we've confirmed to you, 1 person dead, as per the official reports, and 26 injured. Of course, a road that is connecting Olengurwani and Timoru this morning was impassable, as locals were just demonstrating, blocking the road and saying and calling out to the government to beef up security, saying that this is an issue that has been recurrent time and again, and they would want a long-lasting solution, saying that cattle rustling, of course, as I mentioned, is a trigger. But of course, the issue of land, that is an emotive subject, of course, with the flashing out or the movement of illegal settlers in Mount Forest is also a huge contributor to these tensions that we are witnessing between the local warring communities that live in sections of Nakuru, as well as the Narok, that is on Posimoru, and Olengurwani. Jesse, that is what we have for you at this point. The security officials would be heading to meet the Kalenjin community to try and reach a common ground. Of course, they told us that they'll set a date where they'll bring the two communities together so that they can have a conversation. But at this point, it's still